Welcome back. So, as we're waiting on whatever's going to happen, and apparently on Thursday, we may get an idea for what the NHL's guideline is for starting the season. So, apparently, they're just having casual conversations like, yeah, we can do that, we can do this, we can do this. And so now this week, they want to get down to brass tacks. So, what's the plan? So, for fans who've been waiting for a plan, here we go. Now, January 1st is the NHL's target date. Now, here's the issue, and I'm going to say what people are going to say because I'm thinking the same thing. January 1st is the start date. Now, baked into the current CBA is that players get a Christmas break. They get the days off at Christmas time, right? You can't have them come in and do training camp and then go home and then come back and start playing hockey right away. We still have a quarantine 14 days in Canada. It just doesn't work, right? So, do they push this date back to, say, January 15th and then show up for training camp on the 1st? That's possible. But I have to say, if you're a fan saying, well, wait a minute, they haven't had to play hockey, some of these guys, in eight and a half months at that time. You know, if they can come back, they can just have Christmas early. I'm kind of right there with some of that sentiment. Like, and I know there are plenty of families that may have to celebrate Christmas on a day that's not Christmas Day due to different circumstances. I know in our house we've had days where we have to celebrate Christmas early or late, depending on certain situations going on. Maybe the kids aren't going to be here. Every second Christmas, usually under normal circumstances, the kids aren't home for Christmas. They're off with their dads. So we have Christmas on a different day. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see whether or not the NHL players and the owners say, all right, well, we'll not worry about the Christmas break part of it. But if they do, odds are it'll be probably January 15th when we see hockey happen. But the whole idea of it being until February, because basketball's coming back, they're not leaning towards it being February. That does increase the pressure on the NHL. Because that is, and again, they're not directly in competition, but they kind of sort of are. That both sports usually take place at the same time, and it's important for the NHL that they don't lose market share to basketball. And I have to say, they are vulnerable to that in Canada. When the Toronto Raptors went to the finals and won, the ratings were through the roof in Canada for basketball. And while I know there are a lot of people say, oh, basketball's boring, basketball's this and that, there are a lot of people in Canada who will watch basketball when hockey's not on, and they'll watch the Raptors. They have no problem watching the Raptors. Raptors gear is very popular, so the NHL doesn't want to risk some kind of a story going on where the NBA has great ratings in Canada and then starts saying, maybe we could expand further into Canada. We give Vancouver a shot, maybe throw a team into Montreal. This might work. And of course, the NHL wants to make sure that they keep their market share both north and south of the border. Because south of the border is, just as alarming, if not worse, that then they fall into irrelevance, right? So yeah, there's where that pressure comes from. Martin Kaut is off to a good start for Moto because the Czech League has been shut down. So due to COVID numbers being where they are in that area, the Czech League has been shut down since mid-October, and Kaut had to do something, so he goes over to play in the Swedish league and is off to a good start with Moto. The good news, of course, for those that are following that news, is that it looks like a vaccine will be ready by the end of the year. And I know people don't want to talk about and hear about and are tired about, but keep this in mind. That vaccine means you get hockey back, you get fans back in attendance, and there's some semblance of normalcy. Not right away. I know I'm not talking about right away. I know it takes a long time. But it also means that the NHL, the NBA, and other professional leagues can say, okay, we start in January with no fans. In February, we have some. March, we have maybe half full. And then in April, we can have full buildings, all 31 cities. And all that's where you could end up seeing things go. So, and just think of how great that would be to watch the buildings slowly fill up. And, you start out with that fake crowd noise that's kind of weird and off-putting in certain areas. And then by the end of the year, you've got full buildings, and going into 2021, 2022, things look pretty good. So I'm an optimist, and I'm going to go ahead and believe that's where we head. I also want to throw into this video, because obviously there's not a lot going on in the hockey world right now. I got this morning. This is a Newfoundland Growlers jersey. Now, is it in here? Yeah, right in here, I believe, right? That it shows the number. Yeah, it's on this side where it shows that it is 61 of 115. There, you can see it. 61 of 115. So the interesting thing is that when you get it, you just grab this. Normally I would pause, but it's just me and my friends on the internet, right? This is a letter of authenticity. So it says, our organization would like to congratulate you for receiving a significant part of Newfoundland Growlers history. This item will remain forever a collector's item. This document is to certify this item of sports memorabilia was issued with this number 61 out of 115 and is guaranteed to be authentic. Thank you for your support of the Newfoundland Growlers Hockey Club. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's for their Toronto Maple Leafs night that they're going to have. And I was like, yeah. The funny part is that there was an argument when they revealed this on Instagram, and somebody tagged me and said, well, Shannon has to get one of these. And there were people arguing about, I don't like it. I don't like it either. I don't like it. And so while they're all arguing, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to buy it. So I went in and I grabbed it. And to me, it felt like, two people arguing at a store over an item and me just reaching between them, grabbing that item off the shelf, and then just walking away while they're still arguing with each other. Because, again, they only made 115 of these, and it is nice. And I understand there are people who don't like word marks. I normally don't like word marks either, but this is nice. And this does officially go into the Jersey Countdown, which I've been thinking a lot about. So let's just say that the NHL says, all right, well, we won't have a season. I do have some ideas for playlists that I'm holding off on for now because I may not need them. So I'm kind of keeping them in my back pocket. I have 21 different books of these 100 things that fans should know. So 21 different teams I have books for. And I have them for most of the league. Not all, but they're fun little books. So the 100 things fans should know, if you don't have these, like 47, we'll probably never know for sure how the Canucks proved Bure was draft eligible. When they drafted Pavel Bure, the NHL went nuts because they didn't know he was draft eligible, or he would have gone in the first round, and the Canucks just went, oh, we'll take him now. I think it was the fifth round, and it threw the NHL GMs and scouts into a lot of wait, how did they get him? He's not eligible, and yet he was. Coming into the Jersey Countdown side of things, I got this book this past week, The Fabric of the Game, and it has forward by Lanny McDonald, and it has every team in NHL history. It even has the Cleveland Barons. It has, there you go, there's the Captain Highliner. And it gets into the look. It gets into how the teams designed their jerseys, how they designed their logos, the idea behind it, changes that were made. It even has here for the Nordiques, it even shows the design that they were going to go with, and then they moved to Colorado. That was going to be the Nordiques jersey, and then they moved instead. So there's a lot of good stuff in here. And when I'm doing the Jersey Countdown stuff, I could definitely incorporate some of the stuff from this book into the jerseys. So more than just, hey, here's this. It could be, here's this jersey and it was inspired by, it was, that kind of thing. And then this I've been sitting on for years. I think somebody sent me this book 2 years ago. I want to say it was 2 years ago. It might have been 3. This is a book on the World Hockey Association. And so for this book, and for the idea of doing a series on the World Hockey Association, I would do it like my history videos that I did a couple summers ago where I go year by year through the league. The World Hockey Association was a tremendously fascinating disaster. And it had its high points, and there were some great things that came from it, but a lot of it was a disaster. And so it'll be fascinating to go through that. Now, in order to do that, of course, I need WHA jerseys. I have Whalers, I have Jets, I have Oilers, I have Nordiques. All of them came over from the WHA. But I only have a Cincinnati one, so I'm adding a couple more jerseys from the WHA to my collection. And then the plan is that if the NHL decides, well, we're not going to have a season, WHA videos will be born for that. Otherwise, they would wait until probably next off-season. I say probably because it's a fascinating enough topic that I think it could be popular as is anyways. And just doing previews and reviews every day can get kind of tedious. So having a playlist like this that I can kind of plug into the middle might be fun. So yeah, those are the things that I'm looking at. I want to do more sort of team history videos, but I don't want to repeat what's been done already on the video on the channel, because I already have all the team histories. I already have year by year history of the National Hockey League from its inception until this very year. So yeah, but I'm hoping that I don't need any of that. I'm hoping that January 1st we get a hockey back, or we get it January 15th. However we get it, I'll be here to report on it when we do. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Also, thank you to the user on Instagram that alerted me that the Growlers jersey was available, and just I think just tagged me and said, you need this, and I was like, I do. So while all these other people are arguing over how boring and ugly it is, I'm like, I'll just grab it. I like the Maple Leaf logo on the shoulders too. It's nice. Very nice jersey. East Coast Hockey League. And it's another Newfoundland jersey. So I've doubled my Newfoundland jersey collection. And again, when I do the next jersey countdown videos, I will be including American Hockey League, East Coast Hockey League jerseys, Western Hockey League, and of course I have my Chilliwack Chiefs jersey now too. There's a lot that's going to be, it's not just going to be the same as, because I wanted to make sure it's not the same old. So that's the key thing this year. Thank you guys so much for all your help along the way and helping to grow the channel. 169,100 plus last time I looked. And thank you guys, each and every one of you, for hitting like and subscribe along the way, and for all your support in helping this channel grow. And hey, don't forget to check out the West Coast Kids Cancer Foundation, and maybe help them out a little bit. That's just, I throw that in because that charity does some good things, and if I can plug them, I will. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support, like I said. And hope everybody's doing well that's watching this, because 2020, I think it's going to get better. I do. I'm fully optimistic things are going to get better. We're going to get hockey back. And it's got to get better, because 2021, I need to travel. I missed 2 trips this year. Minimum two. We were probably going to do one at Christmas as well, and that's all obviously not going to happen. So fingers crossed, and here we go. Thanks again for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.